morning. What are we? Just gone 8 o'clock now. We're in Ivor, Buckinghamshire. We're at Farlows. We're going to be here till Friday, so we'll see what happens on Friday. So 48 or just over 48. We've been fishing Lake 1. Got 3 lakes here, Lake 1, 2 and 3. And Lake 1's the main, the big lake. So I'm just going to take a walk around. I've got a bit of time, so we can just take a walk around, see if we can see any fish, basically. Nobody speak to a few anglers. If you see any bailiffs, speak to bailiffs, see if we can see anything, and then we'll get set up. Plonk down here so we can get set up. Okay, I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Okay. I've had a walk around. I fancy the shallow areas. If you know Farlows, it's round the back, around by the river there. And I've seen a lot of feeding bubbles around there. No shows of fish, but yeah, lots of bubbles. And there's not many down this end. Anglers down this end. And I've peg 52 is free, and it's the water where the fish can come in and out of the shallows. It's the only way in and out. So I'm thinking I could sort of ambush them as they're coming in and out. And like I said, I've already seen signs of fish in the shallows. So yeah, that's the plan. Peg 52. I'm now going to head back to the car. It's in the car park. Pay my ticket. Go to the office. You have to pay the bailiff before you start. You can buck it up for a certain amount of time, then go back and pay your ticket, dip your nets, dip your slings. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So it's just starting to rain, so we'll get back, get the bivvy up. Yeah, there's a few on. But yeah, I'm happy with the swim I've got, to be honest. As I said, I can ambush the fish coming in and out of the shallows, so that's a good starting point. So yeah, I'll get everything set up, and then I'll talk you through tactics once I'm set up. Okay, this is the peg where I've chosen, peg 52. We've got the main lake there. We're on Lake 1. It's the main lake there. It's a deeper area. And then over, can't really see it because there's a bush here. Round to the right there, it goes into the shallows. So basically, and then any fish want to go in and out the shallows, they have to come through this spot here. So basically, I think just ambushing the carp as they're coming in and out. We'll set up some little traps, and hopefully anything that does come in and out, whether they come in and out during the day or during the night, we should hopefully pick them up. I'm not going to put too much bait out there. I'll have a little lead about, a bit of tiny lead, see what's there. But I've seen some bubbles, seen some feeding bubbles in the shallows and in this area, so I don't want to make too much disturbance. But there you go. So that's Farlows Lake 1. There's the main body of the lake over there, the deeper area, and this little channel that goes to the shallows. So that's where I'm going to be plumped up for the next 48 hours. Okay, it's exactly 12 o'clock. All 3 rods now out. I had a little lead around, and it seemed quite shallow out there. So hope you can hear me. You can hear the M25 in the background there, so you know we're at Farlows. Anyway, yeah, I was having a lead about. There's some weed out there. There's not much. It's the silkweed on the bottom. There's not really much of the other thicker weed. the Canadian, but there's a bit of silkweed on the bottom. It's fishable because I'm using bags, but as I was trying to get a drop down, it didn't seem that very deep. So I stuck the marker float on just to have a look, see how deep it is, and the deepest I got was 5 foot. There's been lots of birds here. I've also had swans diving over by the margin, over the other side. So I chucked the marker float there, and it's only about 3 foot, and then it comes down to about 5 foot. So, and that's sort of in the middle of the channel. So I should be okay with that. I think that's the bit they're going to use. They're going to come in and out using that deep bit. So I found a little spot. I'm dragging through, but it's smooth. If it's smooth, I'm happy. I can fish on that. I can get a bag on that, and I know I'm fishing. It's when it starts. When you start feeling a little bit of resistance, that's when you know you can't fish there. So I put 2 rods there on that spot. I can see bubbles out there now, actually on the spot, which is good. And I've gone for a boilie approach, bait-wise, because there's a large head of bream here, big bream. So I don't want to go too many bits and pieces. I'm using whole boilies that they've been soaking for a couple of days in some oils, some condensed milk, some other bits. I'll go through that later with you. So that's them 2 on the spot. Literally, it's 5 wraps out. That's it. It's just a little cast, and I'm fishing bags on top of that, with micropelling in the bags. I'm hoping that the bream will stay out in the deeper water in the main lake anyway, and it should leave me alone, hopefully here. And the other 3rd rod, I've got a little bit round to my right there. There's a few snags over there, so I'm going to keep moving that bag around in that area there. So basically in the channel, in the margins, and it comes down to about 5 foot, and it's just a bit of silkweed on the bottom. So when they come in and out of this channel into the shallows, which I'm sure they will do, hopefully that's my chance to pick up the fish. That's how I'm going to fish this as they're coming through, just to pick up a few fish. I'm not going to feed much. I'm not going to put a big bed of bait out. There's just a few boilies, probably 30 boilies I put out there, and then, like I said, on the right hand rod, just moving the bag round every couple of hours or so. So hopefully that should work. I mean, we can get some of these gorgeous Farlows fish on the bank. I haven't been through here since last summer, and unfortunately we came when basically they were on and off spawning, and the fish hadn't been caught anywhere on the lake for about a week. And we was in that week, so we blanked terribly, and we come home early. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this session the weather's looking good. Apart from it keeps pissing down rain every now and then when I'm trying to do bags, but that's fishing, and also the wind's piling into this little channel, so it's looking good. I'm feeling positive. So like I said, let's try and get some of these lovely Farlows fish on the bank for you. Swim 52. you've got just round to the right, and the corner of this bush, you've got the pads, the shallows area, and out to the left, the entrance to the main of Lake 1. So if there's any fish coming in and out of the pads, the shallows, then they need to come through here. So it's a good ambush point. It's probably about 10 wraps across, and I'm fishing just about there, about five wraps, just under 6 wraps, and put a marker out there. It goes from about 3 foot the margins over there down to about 5 foot in the middle there, so that's where I'm putting in 5 foot. I can put dragon lead through there. It's using bags, so that's no problem, that's fishable. And then on my right hand rod, there's some snags over the back there, just over there, and that's where I've got my right hand rod. As I said, this is only way in and out of the pads, so I'm hoping I'll accept some fish. I don't know, the weather's been awful all afternoon, horrible wind and cold rain, and the thing is we've had lovely warm weather for the last week or so, and it's just yesterday went cold, and today's gone cold as well. So I hope it's happened before. It happened at Brasenose last time I was there, Brasenose 2. Let's hope it doesn't turn the fish off, like it did up at the Brasenose session. But the wind's died down now. The rain stopped. It's sort of warmed up a little bit, and it seems like there's more life. It looks like there's more life. I've seen more fish now in the main body, the jumping, and I've seen the first fish there. Still 2 bags on the spot. I've just redone them. I think that'll be it now for the night. Cause I think maybe they'll come in and out during the night, and then that might be the time to ambush them. I'll get some more bait out in a minute. Like I said, I'm using boilies, which I washed out, which I've soaked, and then I've just got a bag on the right where I saw that fish just top. Just seen an oil slick from my bag, or one in the boilies, because my boilies have been soaking in the oil as well, some salmon oil. So fingers crossed. Yeah, that does looks more promising, more lively than it did earlier. So I think I'll make myself something to eat, and I'll catch up in a bit. Morning. That was a very quiet, uneventful night. I was up early this morning. It was 5:30 now. I was up about 4. We've still got a cold wind coming from the main lake into the entrance of the pads here where I'm fishing in 52. It doesn't feel right. So I'm taking a walk around the pads area there. There seems to be more signs of fish. I've just walked down to, I think it's 51, one further down, and I saw two carp show down there. So it's a no-brainer. Sun's going to come out today. It's a great area as well in the pads. for a bit of surface fishing. So hopefully a move might put some fish on the bank. So once I get everything, all the gear, I'm halfway there. I've got most of the gear there, down there now. Once I get in there, I'll give you a little update. Okay, just a quick update. Sun's shining now. I'm in the pads. I've moved round, and there's a lot of fish on the surface here. I'm sort of battling the gulls at the moment, just try and get some bait out there. But I've got a controller out there. I've got a floater out there, and there's a lot of fish in front of me now. So hopefully we can try and nick one off the top if we win the battle against the gulls. So yeah, I'll hopefully update you in a bit. And that's what I'm dealing with. Gulls just literally put some mixers out. There's a guy opposite putting some mixers out. Some guys to the left putting the mixers out, and these gulls just keep coming down and literally mopping them all up. I'm sure it never used to be that bad when I was a kid. It used to be a lot easier, bloody things. Okay, update. It's 10:30. I think I've been up since 4 o'clock. Probably why I look tired. So I move swims. I'm actually fishing it in the pads now. Swim 51. Lots of fish in here. Loads of fish in here. The weather's nicer now. We've got some sunshine, warm weather. Get them feeding on the mixers. Chucked a few mixers out, but the gulls are just relentless. I've got a guy gone in opposite. He's spomming out mixers as well, and casting, and then I've just had 3 guys go in one swim to my left, all surface fishing, and looks like the pressure, the carp have had enough. They've gone. It was nice while I was the only one here. Wasn't too much disturbance, but now everyone's thrashing the water to foam. So yeah, the carp have seemed to have buggered off now. I've still got a couple of rods on the bottom, but because there were so many fish here this morning, I didn't really want to lead around. So they're sort of just chucked towards showing fish earlier. Whether they're fishing, they're in bags. I know there's a lot of weed out there. They're in bags. They may be fishing, they might not. At one stage today, maybe a bit later, I'll get the leading rod out again, put a small lead on and see if I can find any spots in this weed for tonight. But there's fish in here. That's the main thing. Where I was yesterday, there was nothing, and last night there was no fish there. So I'm resting my swim at the moment. So hopefully the guys to my left and the guy opposite is going to push the fish over here. If I'm not casting in and out a controller, then hopefully the fish might come back into my swim. Still no fish. It's been a bit of a grueler so far. It's not been the best sessions, but we're on the bank and we're fishing, so I won't catch anything sat at home. Okay, we're just coming up to 4 o'clock now, and still nothing. The wind has picked up. It's really bright blowing, and it's even managed to get into the pads here. So the carp never came back on the surface. The surface rods are up. The surface fishing rods up against the bivvy. So I've got 3 rods back on the deck. I had a little lead around as well. Found a lovely spot over by the island, just off the island. It's got a nice good tap there, so there's a bit of gravel. It's a nice hard surface there. But I think it's quite shallow. I think a coot might have even picked me up earlier, and also I found a spot over to the middle of my swim. They're both exactly the same distance out, so I guess there might be a bar or something going across there. But I've got a good tap, a good donk and a good tap there. So I'll put the 2 rods on that and 1 rod over by the island. I haven't put any bait out there yet because, as I said, I think that the spot by the island is quite shallow, and I don't want to the coots. There's a load of coots in. I don't want them to keep diving down to take my bait. Usually, I only brought boilies with me because there's a huge head of bream in Farlows, and I didn't want to get pestered with bream if I was using particle and sweet corn. So I've just prepared some boilies. But what I'll do, I'll put them out this evening, just as it's getting dark. Like I said, I don't want the coots to keep diving down and destroying the spot. So I'll quickly show you how I prepare my boilies. Okay, so this is how I prepare my boilies. There's a couple of, actually there's 3 types of boilie in there. I've got some old munch bait in there as well, which was the citrus nut. But the main boilies are DNA, the bug and switch. And basically, I soak them. They've been soaking for a good 48 hours now. Just coat them in boiling water. Some condensed milk in there. There's some rock salt. There's some Nash worm cell, which is like hydrolyzed worm liquid, and there's some salmon oil as well. And what that does, that soaks into that over the 48 hours. And if you have a look, nice and soft. They're lovely and soft. And then I'll show you. I'll just put one in the water, and you can see the oils, the salmon oils come off. Look at that. So you can imagine when they're out there on the lake bed, all them oils and traction is seeping up out of the boilers. Good morning. It was a very quiet night, and now it's very wet. The fish it was full in here, this part, yesterday morning. The fish, they disappeared yesterday afternoon, and they didn't come back. I'm going today, so there's not a. I'm not going to move again, especially not in this weather. Yesterday there were signs of fish fizzing. You could see the fish everywhere yesterday, crashing. Nothing today, not a sign. There was nothing here last night. Didn't hear fish crash last night. Nothing on the bait last night. So once this rain stops, it's time to make a move. not been a good session fishing wise. It's been good. It's good to get out. Of course it is. It's always good to get out on the bank, but catching wise, not been good at all. Been very difficult. But if this rain stops, I'm going to start getting the gear onto the car and heading home. So nothing happens, which by the look of it, I don't think is going to happen. I'll give you one more update before I leave. Okay guys, back home now, getting all the gear back into the shed. I'm doing a final summary from home, because I was trying to pack up in between the breaks in the rain. Everything's soaked and dirty. Now you know how it is. It really come down this morning. The rain really come down this morning. Anyway, so summary for today, for Farlows, last 48 hours. So we started off in Peg 52. There was a little channel between. It was the entrance to the pads from the main lake. I managed to get in there just to try and intercept the carp coming in and out of the pads, but with no success. I had a couple of bags in the middle of that channel on a spot I found. Well, it was smooth. It was smooth weed there. I could drag the lead through, so it was fishable. Could put a couple of bags there, and then a sort of roving bag on the right hand rod to the margins. Didn't have no success there. That was on the Wednesday. So Thursday morning I woke up early, about 4 o'clock, and I had a look in the pads, and there was lots of fish showing, lots of bubbles, lots of fish showing, because the sun come out Thursday morning, and there was a lot of fish in the pads area. So I moved swim down to swim 51. Fish were on the surface in there. I was battling all day with the seagulls, with the mixers, trying to get them to take. There was a couple that took, but they weren't interested. The carp weren't interested in feeding at all. They were just more interested in sunbathing. Then the wind sort of changed direction, got into the pads, and the fish sort of disappeared. Then there was a lot of anglers in there as well. I had 3 guys in a swim next to me from one swim, all surface fishing. Guy opposite surface fishing, casting in and out with the controllers, and basically the fish, I don't know where they went, whether they left the pads, but you could feel it got colder in the pads with the wind and the pressure from other anglers, and then the fish seemed to disappear. Whether they left the pads, maybe. So perhaps it might have been a good idea just to stay in the channel there. But hindsight's a good thing, isn't it? So yeah, and then basically then yesterday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, I found a couple of spots in the weed, in the pads, fished on them, one off the island, one further out in the lake. No success. Didn't see many fish, didn't hear many fish last night. Woke up again this morning, the coots were up, diving down on the baits, and then it started raining heavily this morning. It was this cold, this horrible grey, thick, overcast cloud, and it was cold. There was nothing now. Been a very, very difficult session. I'm sorry I couldn't bring you any fish, but that's fishing. I'm a little bit disappointed when you put so much effort into catching fish, and it doesn't happen. But whether I get out again, I'm at Dream Lakes, France, beginning of next month. So I'll bring you my journey to Dream Lakes. I'm going across with a few friends for a 50th birthday. To celebrate our 50th birthdays this year. So I'll bring that to the channel. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if I don't get out again, I'll see you in France at Dream Lakes. Take care.